Hey guys, in today's video I'm going to be decorating this caravan that is right behind me. So let me give you guys a quick look. So this is the caravan in all of its glory, and here is the inspo I used to create this. I'm not sure if you guys can tell, but there are little details like these little custom steps that I made, and there's little stripes along it. The door will be added on a little bit later. Over here we have these custom open windows, which I'm pretty proud of. We don't look at this side's ugly, and so is this side. Oh, and here is a little tow bar that I made. To help me out, I made this custom decal wall with these trees that I got from Faulty's tree tutorial. One last thing before I start building, this caravan will not be functional. A lot of it will be made out of basic shapes because I want this to be a project I'm proud of. Hopping straight into build mode, I wanted to colour this circle I made previously into a dirt colour as if the caravan is stationary there. And then for the walls over here, I wanted it to be white. This is the best white, you guys can't tell me otherwise. Once I coloured the top part, I was confused on which colour to pick for the bottom part, either pink, yellow or purple, but I chose pink. This is the pink I ended up choosing. It's like a muted pink, I think it's pretty. And now I need to colour the windows, so I'm thinking like a light wood colour. This is the colour I ended up choosing, and then I just had to colour all the windows this colour. Moving on to my favourite part, I started adding these trees around and I messed around with the heights to give different amounts of volume. And then I got distracted and coloured this truck yellow. Spotto! I then added this tree, and then over on my decal wall I got more decals. These are from French Roses, Mugsy and Ellie's decals. I just placed them around randomly, like I did what I thought would look best. Wait, but guys, it's really funny seeing the first video I posted because I had no confidence and it's only been like 2 weeks and there's already a big change in my voice, and it won't be long until I start laughing at this video. Anyways, back onto me building. I finished with the decals and now I wanted to add some more to the plants, so I got some actual Bloxburg plants and planted them amongst the decal plants to give more volume, and I also coloured the trees to match a little more. I then tried to improve the build a little more by adding these dirt piles around to places where I saw fit, and I also used it to blend the dirt into the grass. I personally think this caravan is looking so good, but I wanted to add like a table to make it look like this caravan has been like left here and people are just living here now. So I liked this one, it wasn't the one I wanted, so I just grabbed the bigger version and made do with it, and I just coloured that white. But to go with that table, I chose this chair and I made it like a purple colour, purplish blue for a pop of colour. Then I wanted to add some actual Bloxburg trees into the background to make it look a little more forest-like. At this point it honestly looked funky, but I promise you guys it looked good in the end. See, I told you guys, it's looking really good now. On the inspo picture I've been using for this caravan, there's a little hanging basket over here, so I wanted to add that. So I chose this decal, and then I needed a basic shape to put it onto, and I just resized that. I obviously needed to resize this because it looked ridiculous at that size. Once happy with my size, I used Transform Plus to pull the hook onto the knob. And it looked a bit funky hanging on the handle by itself, so I tried to make it look like there was a basket behind it by using this basic shape. And then I placed it underneath it and then used the Transform Plus to lift it up behind it. And then to make it look like a basket, I coloured it this wicker texture. Another thing on my inspo picture was a light up here, so I wanted to include that as well. So I just grabbed a wall light and placed it as best as I could. It wasn't placing properly, but this is how it looked. I now want to say I'm done with the exterior, which means we can start doing the interior. Yay! So I'm gonna map out an interior off camera because I don't like my current one, so I'll be back. Okay, so I did the layer and I made some basic furniture out of basic shapes so it would fit, so let me show you. Over here is the bedroom, of course, not much to it yet. And then over here is a little breakfast nook. Down along here is a kitchen. Not the biggest fan of it, but it's okay. And over in this room is the bathroom. They will have to leave the bathroom to use the sink in the kitchen because there's no room for a shower, toilet and sink, so we'll just have to make do. I also updated my decal wall. As you guys can probably tell, I'm going for a pink and green theme. So let's start the interior, shall we? First things first, I want to start with the bedroom. I honestly had no plan for this, so I just started colouring stuff as well as this vanity, to which I got a mirror decal and I placed it on top, and then I used my Transform Plus tool to drag it and tilt it to make it look a little more lived in this caravan. Not sure if that made sense, but I think you guys can see what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to slant it against the wall to give it like somewhat of a natural vibe. To help make the vanity look a little better, I grabbed these like pink tulip decals and I got a vase to make it look a little better so they're not just standing tulips. Once I was happy, I got this wallpaper to incorporate the both pink and green. I did add one on the other side, but I did that a bit later for whatever reason. You guys will see what I mean. I think I started working on something else and then I added the wallpaper. Yeah, so I started working on this bed, so I coloured it the wood colour to accent this colour throughout the house as well as the pink and the green. And then once I coloured the bed frame, I started to add this wallpaper over on this side. I don't know why, but it was so hard because I just couldn't be bothered to move the bed to put it behind it. But I did eventually do it, as you guys can see. And then I moved on to colouring this bed a green colour. For some weird reason, I really like this stain texture for a bed quilt, but I used the stripy stain texture, as you can see. This green colour low-key has my heart right now. I love it. Then I added this blanket on top of the blanket to make it look a little more cozier and comfier. And then I coloured it this pink colour in a small plaid. Here is how that turned out. And then I wanted to add some pillows. Apologies for sounding different in this clip, but I did not explain what I was doing. I was just decorating the bed with some normal pillows. And then I wanted to include this decal pillow, so I sized it to a reasonable size, of course. And then I used my Transform Plus tool to make it blend in with the pillows a little more. It looked a little bit weird, so I added another pillow in front of it, which was this round pillow, and I coloured that a baby pink as well. And of course, beside the bed we need a bedside table, so I used this one even though it didn't fit properly. However, once I placed that, I moved back over to the vanity for whatever reason and started decorating that with some in-game makeup, and then I also coloured that to match the vibe of the room, and then that's when I started to decorate off camera. So this meant the bedroom is done, so I can move on to the dining nook. I had no plan other than to paint a few things the wood colour, so the table and the couch. And then I made the couch cushions a pink colour. I ended up softening it a little more because I didn't like how bright the pink was. It took me a minute to choose the pink colour I wanted, but I ended up choosing this one, and then I coloured all the cushions the same colour. I then took a second to think about what I wanted to do because I had no idea. So while I was thinking, I just coloured the wall beside it a white colour. This caravan layout is low-key giving me nostalgia because I had a bedroom over here, and then where the dining nook is right now is where it used to be as a child for me. So I guess that's pretty cool. I'm not sure if you guys will know about this show called Home and Away. If you're Australian, you will probably know. But they once filmed at my house, and my number one childhood memory was being in the caravan while watching the behind the scenes of them filming. It was honestly such a highlight to my childhood. I loved it. Anyways, back onto the build. I wanted to use this like cloth thing for the table, but then I realized eventually that I couldn't use it yet because then I wouldn't be able to place stuff. So at one point it was just hanging up in the sky, so just ignore it hanging in the sky. But I did add this little decal plant. I used this to tie in some green, and then I coloured this vase green as well. The couch was looking very flat, so I added some pillows, of course, as well as the decal pillow. And then I just tried to make it look comfy, so I also used this blanket, and I used the plaid texture. I was going to do it green at first, but then I wanted a different colour, so I ended up choosing like a bluish purple. And then I thought of the brilliant idea to make the wall behind the couch a green colour. So here is me just trying to figure out how to color it. The bathroom wall is a problem for later, guys, don't worry about it. Anyways, I was pretty much done with the dining nook, which meant I could start working on the kitchen. For the kitchen, I really wanted to include this tile decal, so I was trying to figure out a way on using it. Until I eventually came up with this idea, it was the only way that would work. And then I really wanted a pink fridge, so that's exactly what I did. So I just thought a pink fridge would be such a vibe, so this is how it turned out. Then for the counters, I wanted to accent the wood yet again, so I was just colouring it wood, as well as trying to figure out what colours I wanted to do the wall, which ended up being this green, as you guys can see. And then this kitchen was missing appliances, so I was trying to find a microwave in this scene, but I did end up finding it. This first kitchen layout did not end up working, so you'll see it being changed a bit later. As you can see, I'm now adding these shelves, and you guys are probably wondering where the stove is. Well, I couldn't actually add one in such a small space, so we're just gonna pretend these people have like a portable stovetop. Anyways, I'm so glad that I moved this microwave and the appliances. I think it looked a little better. And then for a little more detail, I made these custom cutting boards out of basic shapes. Here is a rectangle one, and then I made a circular version of that as well, also slanting it against the wall. And then I thought it was too much pink on pink, so I made the appliances green, which I do think helped. Then for the top of this shelf, I decided to add these mugs in a line, as well as some plates beside it as a little bit of clutter. Not plates, bowls. And my absolute favorite hack for mugs is to make an ombre effect with them. So I choose the color I want, and then I use my color wheel to make it like an ombre effect. I don't know why, I just think it's a really cute detail to add, and it just makes them look less flat of a color. Like, look how cute that is, guys. You guys can't tell me otherwise. And then I went basic for the bowls and colored them white. For this corner by the sink, I thought it was lacking a bit of pink, so I added these flowers by it. And here's how that turned out. Then for another detail, I wanted to add a blanket over the counters to be as if it's like a cloth or something. And I just colored that like a blue color as well. Also guys, just ignore the yellow orange ticker up at the top of the screen. This build took me a couple of days and the Halloween update rolled out, so we're just gonna have to ignore the ticket. In this scene I was trying to add a sponge, but I realized how big it looked and it just looked really weird and unproportional, so I didn't end up using it. So instead I added soaps because that would be a little more logical as well, because this is also the bathroom sink. I think I'm just about done with this kitchen other than a few small details which I'll do off camera. This means I'm up to the bathroom, hooray! For the bathroom, I wanted it to be a little more simpler to the rest of the house. I did want it to still have a bit of colour in it, but just like a little place where you could just kind of relax from the colour. Anyways, I started off by adding this shower. And then I wanted to add this divider to the bathroom, so I started off by using a translucent basic shape and did it to the height I wanted. I then coloured it neon green so I could see what I was doing, and I outlined it with structural. And then I have this pattern going out throughout the caravan, so I wanted to incorporate that to it. So how I did that was I did a structural along it, and then I did one in the middle. And then from there I added structural beams from corner to corner to give the pattern. This was pretty much it, other than it being neon green, so I quickly fixed that up. But I thought something was missing, so I grabbed another basic shape. I then placed another basic shape on top and extended it out so it wasn't the exact size. And then I just coloured that white and the wood colour and pushed it into the divider. And I think that made it look a little better. And then on the windowsill I added these flowers and a little makeup bag on the other side of it, because why not? Who doesn't want a little makeup bag? And then I thought of adding this towel to the back of the bathroom as well, just so it corresponds with the kitchen. And then I added some soaps on the floor as well as a bar of soap. And then we also needed somewhere to dry our bodies, so I added these towel racks, to which I coloured them pink and green, and then I added a little trash bin by the toilet. And then the last step was me to make the roof, so I'll be back when that's done. We are finally on the reveal of the caravan. I set the time to 7 AM to get this really pretty lighting, and this is what we made. I genuinely think it's such a pretty piece, and I'm so proud of it. Off camera for the truck, I added like a little bed over here, like as if these people are going stargazing. I just thought it would be a cute little touch, and I'm proud of it. Heading inside, we're greeted by the dining area. I think it turned out really pretty. Then beside the dining area, we have the bedroom, of course, the first room we made. It's pretty decent for a caravan bedroom. Anyways, down here we have the kitchen. I do think it's a little cluttered, but it's not terrible. And here's another angle because it's kind of hard to get the kitchen from good angles. And behind the kitchen we have the very small bathroom. I didn't want it to be too busy, so I didn't make it too busy. But I still think it turned out pretty cute. So this now brings us to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, definitely leave a like. If you want to see more from me, subscribe. And if you have any suggestions, definitely comment them down below. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.